Verse 15. And he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the whore sits, are people, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, they shall hate the whore. Holmes, why do these fallen angels hate the whore Satan? Elementary, Watson. Satan deceived them, causing them to rebel and be permanently cast out of heaven. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Watson, a coup d'etat in the kingdom of darkness. This is the other war that the 10 horns help the beast wage, and they will win this war. Verse 17, for God has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. No, their kingdom is the kingdom of darkness. It is taken from Satan and given to the beast Apollyon, and he will reign on the earth for 42 months. The beast and the 10 demonic rulers attack Satan and strip the rule of the kingdom of darkness away from Satan. This is part of the judgment of the whore noted in verse 1. Come here and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sits on many waters. Another part of the judgment of the whore is the destruction of the idol towers of the city of Tyrus or Babylon. That's why the announcement that Babylon is fallen is a pronouncement received with gladness in the kingdom of heaven. It is the declaration that the rule of the king of Tyrus, also known as king of Babylon, aka Satan, is about to be abolished. This is also why the woman Satan, the king of the city of Babylon, is literally called the city itself in the very next verse. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. Advanced teaching, symbolism in Revelation 18. Verse 1. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. In the spirit realm, the idol towers of Babylon were erected and became the headquarters of many demonic spirits, and Satan is the king of this city. The pronouncement that these idol towers have fallen is a sign on the earth that the capital of the kingdom of darkness has been abolished. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. You know, there were many testimonies on 9/11/01 of people reporting that God told them, even though the security guards were saying, stay put, stay in your offices, the security guards were telling them that, but God spoke to their hearts, told them to get out. They ran, they got out, and they lived. Verse 11, the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. Why do the merchants weep? Elementary, Watson. This city was the center of world trade. The merchants of these things, which are made rich by her, shall stand far off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple, scarlet, decked with gold, precious stones, and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, Alas, alas, that great city wherein we were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by the reason of her costliness. for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and your holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. Now, Holmes, what type of place would house the greatest merchants on earth? Elementary, Watson. A World Trade Center. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all them that were slain on the earth. Note, the city houses the great merchants of the earth. The king over the city, Satan, a.k.a. King of Tyrus, a.k.a. King of Babylon, deceived all nations and was responsible for all the slain. Revelation chapter 19, after Babylon is fallen, what comes next? The marriage supper of the Lamb. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he said unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Advanced teaching, symbolism in Revelation 13. Revelation 13:1. And I stood on the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now this is the first of 2 fallen angelic beasts to ascend. We know that the beast has been locked in the pit, and when he emerges in this vision, he arises out of the sea. The heads and horns are symbolic, and this is the same beast with 7 heads and 10 horns we saw in Revelation chapter 17. The identity of the beast is Apollyon. The horns represent 10 fallen angelic rulers in league with the beast. The heads represent the 7 principalities in the kingdom of darkness, which the beast shall rule when Satan is stripped of his position, as we studied. Note that Satan, the dragon, is described with the same symbolism of having the kingdom of darkness on his head as a crown in Revelation 12:3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his heads, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. Also note in the passage which tells of the rebellion of angels, remember, stars equal angels. Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was as the mouth of a lion. Note that his actual appearance will be that of a beast or an animal creature, in the same way that the angelic beasts around the throne have the appearance of various animals. This is because he is a fallen angelic beast. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and his great authority. Note, this is not by choice, but the result of a coup d'etat in the kingdom of darkness. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death. Now remember, heads are symbolic. Heads represent mountains, which are principalities. The principality of the world financial system was wounded when the idol towers of Babylon were decimated. 2 main themes of chapter 13 will be the restoration of this head and the honor of this principality, as the beast shall have a new idol erected to honor him, and shall utterly take command of the world financial system with his mark, and that no one shall be able to buy or sell without that mark of the beast. And thus his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon who gave power to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who's like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?"